Welcome in, guys. Good evening. We'll get started soon. We'll get started in a minute, guys. We'll wait for folks to join. If you guys are just joining in, welcome. Good evening. You can use the chat to ask questions. The YouTube chat, I'll be monitoring that. We'll get started soon. All right, it's 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome in, guys. Good evening. Welcome to episode 5 of Stock Tuesdays. We had a couple of crazy sessions. Honestly, market was a little surprising, and I kept waiting for pullbacks on many names. Never happened, and then ended up having to be content with what I had. You guys would be surprised. I actually ended up trading a little later intraday, wanting to catch moves, and I caught a little bit of longs and shorts. But the frustration is still there because we missed. Me personally, I missed the entries on longs. You guys know, I loaded Tesla. I didn't get a fill. I got the retest opportunity. Maybe not exactly to my level. I still didn't get filled. It's just one of those days where even if you made money, you just feel like just now you just don't get that satisfaction. Today is one of those days. Um, let's see. Guys, if you're just joining in, make sure your volume is turned up. You can use the chat to ask questions, and I'd appreciate it if you can hit the like and subscribe button. It'll help me do these streams more often. Okay, so what I want to do right now is let me go over the charts that I was watching today, and I'll talk about the trade that I executed. I executed a couple of shots on Microsoft, and I'll tell you about the trade on Tesla, why I missed it, and how I missed it, and honestly, it just ran. That's the real reason. It just ran. It just never gave me an opportunity to enter. And but I think tomorrow and Thursday, I think will be a better session. Tomorrow, I think maybe a little tricky because of choppiness. Maybe there could be some opportunities. We'll have to wait and see. But Thursday and Friday, I think, will be better sessions compared to today. Today was a good session. You just had to catch it at the open, right? At the open, if you caught long, you won, or else you had to play for second rate and third rate setups because market was just slowly grindy and it never really uh, broke the range periphery, right? So let's go first look at Microsoft. The reason I liked Microsoft today, it was not really my top watch. The only reason I liked it is because I saw that the weakness in the tape on this, it was not really participating. And the one thing I wanted to see was either a break under this 445 level. You guys can see market open and then we just kind of wicked down and then we rallied back to the highs. So that was not a breakdown I could take. So instead, I changed my contracts and I waited for a failure of that 450. Okay, the first trade entry was a failure of. Let me go to the 5-minute chart here. The moment we broke 450 here, this is when I signaled that short here. I entered around this area here around 10 o'clock, and then this thing dropped. I think we did like 15% or something like that. When it popped, I trailed out. And then I always tell you guys, keep the contracts loaded because I think there would be an opportunity. The moment we lost 449, actually, I remember I entered 30 cents before 499 loss, so I just entered right here and I had like a 20-30 cent stop, and this thing ran for 30%. Okay, and this thing popped back up again at 449. And if you guys know, I at that time you guys heard me say certain things. Risk is just a few percent, manage your positions and whatnot. I added a little bit more size in this position with the stop above 449 at this time, and then so I got another 30% trade here. So it was all in all a good trade, but you guys can see this thing kept going up, down, and again towards the end of the day, another 450 failure. Now I'm going to ask you guys a question. Okay, what is the point of me just talking? So tomorrow, hypothetically, what do you guys think will be a setup for Microsoft? Use the chat to answer this question for me, right? So how can we trade Microsoft? If tomorrow market opens, what other types of setups that we can get? Use the level, help me with the thing, right? Let's see if you guys can answer. I'm going to wait for a few seconds and monitor the chat. Use the chat to answer my question. I just want levels. I want levels. I want levels. So on the under which level we can take, or over which level we can take. Someone said 450 reject, Microsoft above and fail 449. Microsoft will drop puts. Okay. Okay, so that's a fair Panthers Kings. Thanks for the donation. I will come to your ticker when I go over the tickers. Okay, I will see. Remember this CME. Okay, I will look at it when I go over charts. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the 1 hour chart here. Okay, so the one thing you guys want to know is for Microsoft per se, right? It had good earnings and it's been rallying ever since. Okay, but look at this trend here. Okay, since earnings was here, big move, 4, 8, 12, 16 hours of consolidation, one big pop, another 16 hours of consolidation, and one pop, another 16 hours of consolidation, not 16, 16, 32 hours of consolidation and a pop, and then another 16 to 20 hours of nothing. And then we gapped up with the market yesterday. Okay. Now, what I notice with all of this is every time the stock gaps up, it does make a new high, but there's no real big momentum move, right? So usually after big consolidations like this, after a primary move, you want to see big continuation and then like big trends start to form like it did with Tesla. Okay, but that hasn't happened yet, which is why this is in the tape. If you see, the reason for that is because every buying is being sold into. Okay, there's one scenario there, and the second scenario is there's a lot of shots building up on this particular stock. Okay, now tomorrow and Thursday, this is a bi-directional setup. The reason for that is just because it didn't have the momentum yet doesn't mean it can build momentum from here. Okay, so we have to be careful. The only kind of setups I like is maybe if it tries to break high and then fails massively, we can take that trade. Okay, today the levels that I watched were 446 and 445. 446 was the bullish pivot, 445 is the breakdown level that I would like. Now we want to see this candle completely flip. Okay, if it gets under 445, and then in this case you can see this like level here, 444, 445, 444. If it clears that, you get a solid move into 440. 440 breaks. You guys saw what happened to Netflix, right? Like just like Netflix, this would be another setup. Now, the moment I start seeing weakness, I'll continue to abuse this just like I did Netflix, right? Now, next question I'll cover, next scenario I'll cover is why I didn't trade Netflix today. Okay, so um, so that's the plan here. I do like this for a breakdown, but again, if it breaks really strong, we can't do anything about it. So we have to wait for levels to confirm and take it to the downside. Now I'll go over Netflix here quickly. Now Netflix, you guys already knew. I was trading these moves here. For the last 3 days, I've been trading Netflix. Now, today market was bullish, first of all. And the second was opening candle on Netflix. You guys saw that we already reclaimed that 1125 level from yesterday. Okay. So on a downtrending play, you don't want to see stocks building above previous days' level, right? Now, I knew this was going to happen because it failed to break down here the previous day and it reclaimed that 1110 level that I was talking about. First candle, we pretty clearly opened above 1115. The moment first candle closed, I knew that we already built above the previous day's resistance level here. You guys can see. Maybe I'll zoom in a little here. Look at where the candle closed. Okay, so this candle closed here. The second candle dip came above the previous day's reject point here. Okay, so that's a sign for me that whoever was sold into here is now a buyer. Okay, so they evicted here and then ever since it rallied. Now that said, If I go to the 1 hour time frame, that doesn't mean it's a full uptrend yet. Okay, look at this. It's again rejecting off of this 1150. Now for this to turn into an uptrend, we have to clear 1150 tomorrow and break this 1160. If it does, I think this week we could see a big push into this 1200 by Friday. Okay, but on the flip side, if this thing loses again and loses this 4 hour structure, this again, this, remember this level 1125. Okay, if it loses this again, I'll go short on this, and we could potentially break to the downside on 1100. Okay, a lot of this depends on the overall market direction as well. So based on that, I'll take this trade accordingly. So it's another setup that I'm watching. Okay, and you guys know if I take Netflix, I'll let you guys know. All right. If you guys are just tuning in, I highly recommend you guys use the comment section on the chat to ask your questions, and I'd appreciate also if you hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. All right. What else? What else? Tesla. Oh my God, where do I even start? Yesterday, 310 bounce worked well, and look at this. Like it's just like yesterday on the perfectly on the fib. If you guys took me, perfectly on the fib, 310 bounce worked well. Today, I didn't even like today. There was just two things, right? We had to hold that 318, 319 area, and we did at the open. What is the low of the day? 317. Okay, and we just ripped. I had the 330 breakout on watch because honestly, I didn't think we would get such a squeeze. But the fact that we consolidated so long under this pre-market area, look at this consolidation here. Initial pop consolidation. We kept holding, we kept holding, we kept holding. This was the re-entry I had. I mean, I had like $2 risk, but I should have still entered this trade, and I didn't, and I ended up regretting it. But this is nothing. I can't say anything to make up for it. It's just I just missed it. Open. It just happened way too quickly, and I didn't want to catch it. And after that, it's just sitting ducks and watching this. Okay. Now a lot of people will probably post gains on this. Now I guarantee you they did not execute this here. Okay. 9 out of 10 times they just didn't know what they were doing or they chased, or they just had swings that they're covering up. That most people I know, even some of my friends, they had swings when Tesla was at 290, 280. Okay, they're probably just swinging, and then they probably secured profits today. So whoever is, I know a few people. I know a few of my friends also. They post big gains today. They're saying, "Oh, look at this! I caught Tesla." I know they didn't catch Tesla because they were just swinging Tesla. Okay. So you know who you are. I'm not calling you out, man. So that's Tesla here. Again, we'll see what happens today. Tesla is just a prime squeeze example. When it goes, it goes. You just can't do anything about it. You have to catch it, and I didn't catch it today. That's it. It's as simple as that. Um, Another name I was watching was Meta. Again, another freight train, and it's just one of those things, guys. Look at this opening push here. It didn't really give us a demand test opportunity. I was watching that 635 bounce on Meta, and it just like ripped. So you could argue on drive, you could have just chased and adjusted risk and whatnot. But the thing is, uh, market already made a move to resistance, so it made more logical sense to capture something that was fading from resistance versus trying to play with demand. That's why I tried to trade Microsoft. I did catch a little bit of SPY. I remember that I mentioned that 588.50 level. So I first traded it there for a small scalp. And then I took a small loss scalp also for 500. And then you saw my PNL over there in the chat. I shot at 599 when it rejected again. And I made a little bit of that. 587 bounce I took when it retested. But again, not satisfied really with today's session. But tomorrow, I want to talk about tomorrow's session. Okay. So I already talked about Microsoft. I already talked about Netflix. Now this is a chart I really like. Now I want to go to the bigger time frame on Meta. Okay, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this area here on Meta, I'm going to draw a little box here. There's like pretty big congestion. Okay, so this area 660, 680. Okay, so this has been a big build up, and Meta pretty much just straight up rallied. So I'll be looking for reversal trades on this. Either it pops here and fades, or already if this 4 hour candle flips here around under 640 or something like that. Okay, today's low is what, 642. See, I didn't even have to look. 640. If it flips, I'll be looking for breakdown place on this. Okay, now the reason for that is because I think we will get another demand test before going higher. but we'll have to play it by ear. Okay, I don't want to fight momentum. You guys know I'll trade with the momentum, but if based on how meta trades, if they flip this 4 hour candle, we'll have an opportunity to the short side. To the long side, we really needed for it to build higher and then maybe take a bounce off of the 660 or something like that. But until then, I can't really touch meta because look at this 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 24 hours of green candle with literally no pullback. Okay, so we can't really do anything here to the long side. At least I can't enter with my size and my risk tolerance. I can't. I don't like catching little 10% trades and whatnot. I want to be able to capture something decent, something trendy, at least in the overall direction, and this is something I can't trade. All right, let's look at some more tickers, guys. If you guys are just joining in, use the chat to ask. Let's see CMC. Okay, Panthers Kings. You asked. Okay, I don't know what that ticker is, but I'll open it. CMC Commercial Metals Company. Okay, I don't know about the technicals, but I'll just go over the chart. Looks like there's a resistance at 50 level forming here. Looks a nice chart, man. Looks like this consolidated move. Every time it just broke high. They tried to break trend here, but they saved it. And then they have a gap up here. Now, ideally, what you want to see is tomorrow today was a consolidation day off of this level, 50 level here again. So tomorrow or the day after, you want to see this trend build up and break. So what you don't want to see is that momentum. You can see this candles finally the clouds finally starting to expand. So what you want to see is this breakout and continue, right? If momentum is going to build, it just has to do it immediately. And if that happens, you will see a move from past 50 to 53, and then pretty much these are all low volume areas. So it will probably start trending again to 60. Now that said, I can see that it's a steel company. I think there's a lot of situation around tariffs happening around steel, so could be pretty news dependent also. Technically, it's a very bullish chart, but if you're long, I don't know where your entry is at. I would just use this candle flip here, the previous level 46.85 here as your trail stop if you're long already. Okay. All right, let's look at some more charts. PLTR, all right, everyone's favorite. Yeah, I mean, nothing to sell. It's just how I don't know how you guys are trading these names. Like, it's just like it's up 8%. Oh my God, what the fuck was I doing? Did it move 8% on the day? 119 to 130. That is insane. What am I doing trying to trade Microsoft and all of that? Like, I need counseling. What is this? Maybe I should switch to the dark side. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, this chart. Yeah, bullish as long as this 4 hour candle builds. My guess is tomorrow they'll probably gap it up again. So you just plot your levels and then I just like these kinds of moves. Just you plot your levels and wait for a flush and reclaim. That's how you kind of trade it because the momentum is just crazy. If you wait for big level breaks and whatnot, you can't trade it. So today, if you're trading this, like I'll tell you, I'll move to the 5 minute chart. I'll teach you guys how I would have taken this trade, right? Uh, I have levels on this. Okay. So previous days levels here. So this plot this. Yeah. So we opened strong, we sold into that, and then here we have a candle close above the previous day's levels. You just long it here or long it above this high here. That's it. Catch a trend. Because it's trending, you already know that, right? This is trending. On the bigger time frame, it's trending. So all you want to do is level, flush, or level, reclaim. That's it. Okay. And we reclaimed all of these levels. We reclaimed this level here. And then we had a little consolidation and then trend entry here. Where around 11 o'clock. Like perfect trend entry. And then you just don't look back. Now, even if you miss the first entry, you just like wait for a pullback as close to a level as possible and then execute. 124, you'll have maybe a 50 cent $1 stop, right? That's kind of how you want to trade this. Now, momentum flips, that's a different story. Don't trade against momentum. Right now, momentum is to the bull side, okay? So if tomorrow I were to take this trade, I'll just plot levels here, okay? So let's say we have a gap up, right? Let's say we have a gap up into 136, right? 135 or something like that. And then if it drops under 130, right? And then it reclaims and holds, then I'll take this thing long again. But target is high of day, risk is small. Okay, that's how I would take this trade to the upside. Now to the downside, if this thing flips trend, right? Where is the levels here? So this is the last pullback over here. So I want it under at least 120. Okay, 125, 124. All right, so if it flushes tomorrow and flushes 124 and then does a retest and fails, I'll take it there. Okay, something like that. Again, I'm not going to take this. I'll really, I don't know how this moves. I have to watch it. Coin, yeah, S&P 500 inclusion. The break and retest of 235 here. It's honestly these kinds of set. I should have just looked at these charts. They were a lot more easier to trade. Break and retest. Again, same chart as PLTR here. Break, retest, go. That's it. Wow, 23% insane. Maybe there's a bounce trade tomorrow. The problem is today's volatility may not be there tomorrow. Look at the volume; it was kind of like muted all over. Okay, I don't know. Tomorrow we'll have to wait and see on how we can take this trade. It's 260. I have upside levels here. This is the last level I have, and above that 276. Maybe there's a bounce trade here. We'll see. Maybe there's a bounce trade around 245, 248, something like that. Um, we'll have to wait and see. I gotta go to the hourly chart. Hmm. Yeah, 245, 248. These 3 or 4 candles. So let's say it pops to this candle here around this area. Maybe by the time the 21 EMA would catch up. So around this area here. Okay, that's a lot of tickers here. Um, what happened with SPY today, dude? Like SPY was pretty straightforward, man. Like honestly, I should have just long SPY. Like this is pretty trend entry. SPY consolidating here, big day one move here, day one move they held here, 577, consolidated to highs, closed, and then the moment it took this high here, it was really a long trigger, right? The problem is after the first 5 minutes, there was just really no opportunity to enter. That's why I had the Tesla calls loaded. If I was going to short something, it was going to be Microsoft because of the tape, but the long for me was Tesla at the open, and I just couldn't. If I was going to take SPY, it would have been there, right? It was just you miss this boat here, right? You just really can't trade this. This is just went for like what from 280, 584 all the way to 588, and then after that it was just our like consolidation. This is that 588.5 level that I was talking about. We had a rejection here, and then we had a break and failure of the same level, and then the same failure again end of day. Okay, so you just had to short. If you're shorting, you had to short at 588.5 at 589. If you want to go into long something, you had to long it here, or you had to long here around this 586 level, which is not really a level. It is 585 is a level I had, but not 586. It was still like I didn't long this area, sure. So in fact, I was short on Microsoft when this happened, when this failure happened. So really, nothing to trade here. If you got caught in shots here, there's nothing wrong. It happens. Losses happen, you know. There's nothing wrong, but you just just couldn't fight it. It was a trend, right? You're fighting the trend. You can't do that. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? Uh, let's see. It was CME, not CMC. Oh, okay. Damn, why didn't you say that before? CME, okay. All right, hold on. Let's look at the sticker once. And oh my God, this is. Hope you have puts here. Looks like they had some kind of catalyst here. I don't know what it was. This basically sold off. Some news maybe. Pays for the largest percent drop. Yeah, there's some catalyst news on this. Yeah, it's bear flagging. Unfortunately, if market sells, this thing will sell even more. For bull side action, you want to reclaim this area here, this 4 hour candle. Uh, you need to. I don't think it'll happen. You need for it to just immediately reverse, break, and then form a base around this 270 area. But you have to really reclaim this 4 hour here. So if that doesn't happen, this is just going to go lower, at least for now. It needs to form a base. It needs to form a lower high of that base and then reverse. It may take like a week or two for that to happen because right now momentum's to the downside. I'll look at Amazon. It's been a minute since I've seen that chart. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Interesting. Remember when we traded Amazon here post earnings, 188 area, it would have been a nice long in these areas. Looks like we broke 195 here, big gap up, But looks like there is a failure happening already in the 4 hour. So you guys already know this level here, right? So you can see this level I have plotted 206. If it flushes 206, I'll take it short. And for longs, we need it about 215. If 215 breaks, you can take it long. Probably you're going to run to 220. So this is a bidirectional trade that we can keep an eye on. I don't know if I like trading Amazon though because of the way it moves, but certainly if the right kind of setup presents, we can trade this. Uber, yeah. Um, break just happened here. So this is the kind of setup that I was just talking about, just like PLTR. Momentum is just starting. So 88, 89, if we can consider this 4 hour candle open as demand, right? We want to see this hold at all times for us to, because this is where the trend starts. Okay. So any dip in these areas and then a hold, you can go long. Okay. That's kind of you can do. But the problem is the way it looks, it'll probably open up with a gap up. And if it does, just like how I told you, you can take PLTR. You just want a level flush and then a reclaim, and then you can just take that trade like that. But these kinds of trades, volume's questionable, man. It'll run when no one expects, and then it'll just dump when no one expects. So unless you know the company and how it trades, I would like stay away. Unless you know how to trade it. AVGO, okay. I mean, all right. John Carbello, thank you for the donation. Oh fucking hey, let me remove these diagrams, man. It just gives me. Okay. All right. Yeah, appreciate it if you hit the like button, guys. Thank you. Let's look at CCL and then AVGO. All right. Oh my God, like this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Looks like it's going to be a double soon. 130 and then wow, this is insane. Oh, wow, I just have FOMO. Yeah, AVGO pretty straightforward chart here, guys. This is the level that I wanted to break like since forever. This you guys can see there was a gap fill here, and this was the key area that I kept holding. Like if you can, I don't know if I can see it. Yeah, like this area here. So honestly, if it pops and fails, you can short this trade because this was the big bag holder area. You can see how long it was consolidating. It's just not going to, unless there's a catalyst again tomorrow, it's just not going to break through. So this is a trade that you can watch for a pop and fade. Pretty similar. I'm going to watch for Nvidia also because Nvidia was struggling today at highs. And semis, I think you can watch for pops and fades. Any strong open and failures, I'll be looking for shots on that. Okay. I don't think it's going to be continuation just right yet, but I'll be looking for short sides. Okay. For now, for day trading wise, swing trading wise, I mean, you just want the trend to hold. As long as 200 holds long term, I think you'll be fine on AVGO. Eventually, it'll consolidate more and more and break the size. The big levels to watch are here. This 250. This 250, the moment it clears, I think it'll run to 300. Okay, because there's like untapped areas, you're going to get big momentum. But this area here, you guys can see this cluster, this entire cluster here is just full of cells. Okay, now momentum is building, but momentum can easily flip here in these areas. CCL. Uh, 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 I don't have levels in these areas. Okay, let's just plot a couple of quickies. All right. All right, so these are the levels that I have now for CCL. Again, same kind of positioning. So when the chart is approaching these kinds of areas, right, you want to see either the catalyst dropping now and we reclaim all these supply, which is not going to happen. So ideal scenario for you to, if you're going to day trade this, is pop and fades. But if you're looking for longs, what I explained earlier should be your execution process. Wait for levels to fail and then reclaim and then take those trades. Okay. Uh, so in this scenario for CCL, right? Let's say it pops about 25, right? And 23 is a breakout level that you have, right? You want it to pop back to 23, hold or flush and reclaim, and then take that trade. All right, because these kinds of over like big trending moves you want to buy at demand. The reason I keep saying that is because you can go try trading a breakout on these trades, but your risk reward is not going to be there. You just don't know how much you're going to get, right? I don't really like trading like that. I don't really like trading. I try to buy and demand, short and supply. Simple as that, right? If I'm wrong, I'll be wrong small. I'm not going to like lose a whole bunch, right? So you got to be careful, and even market timing wise, right? If your market's trend is bullish and whatnot, but the trend is end of a bullish area, right? Meaning a big moves already happened, so you don't want to be trying to join the party. If you took my mentorship, the nightclub analogy, right? If you're going to a nightclub, go early, like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, right? That should be the max cutoff. Don't go joining at 3 a.m. When everyone's leaving, don't go join the party. Pay a cover and don't get into the club at 3 a.m. Literally everyone's leaving, right? Don't go and then. This is the same kind of analogy for stocks also. The trend is starting, go buy it, right? But if the trend is coming to an end, if the trend is losing momentum, it's going to yeah, you'll become exit liquidity. Basically, I didn't want to use that word, but Killmonger used it. Okay, you don't want to be exit liquidity in any trades. Always be smart. Now, now it's very tricky next tomorrow, but go in with a neutral bias tomorrow. Today, my bias was like 70% bullish, 30% bearish, but I missed the bullish play, so I had to focus on whatever the market could give me. Tomorrow, my mindset is going to be 50-50, right? I am not biased at all because I feel like most people who wanted to chase today, and then tomorrow we are going to be seeing the real test of liquidity, right? If people are going to buy demand, and if, honestly they could grind higher also tomorrow, right? If they did, and we just get another gap up day, right, we're going to have a shitty session again tomorrow. But if the market just stays, which usually happens, and I don't know if you guys know this, but post CPI, the next day is usually the inverse of CPI day. Okay, I mean it's not always, but it's most times. Okay, so something to keep an eye on. Today's week names were Microsoft, and a few other names that I was watching. So we could take those names tomorrow. Again, it doesn't matter catching 100 setups. We just need to capture one setup, one good setup with size, and we can be done. All right. So that's our goal. You guys already know my eyes on Microsoft, so I'll really be trying to get it again tomorrow. Okay. So let's see if we can get something. All right, let's look at some more. If you guys are just joining, welcome in. Use the chat to ask your questions, and I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. Subscribe if you can, so that you don't miss out on the next live. Some of these names are like super random. Let's look at any other questions besides chart requests, guys. Let me talk about something stocks in general. Let's do. Let's stop with a chart request. We just know in general we have to be careful in the market. Ask me something else. AMD, AMD, Nvidia, same story, guys. I'll just look one more. Okay. Where look, I guess you can see the AMD is approaching this 115. Actually, I'm surprised AMD's rallied this much. I didn't think I haven't watched AMD for this long, but it's actually rallied quite a bit. I'd be very interested to see how it closes the week. Nvidia, yeah, Nvidia is also approaching that big area here, 135 area. Yeah, interesting to see. If I have 10K, how much should my position size be? Okay, so there's like a few things to this, right? So first thing, if there's two ways you can handle 10K, right? If 10K is all you have, then you have to trade it differently. If you have 10K and 10K is not a lot of money for you, meaning if this goes, you can fund more. You'll be trading it differently. Okay, so you gotta ask yourself this question: how much is 10K to you? Okay, so if you're just growing your account and like this is a lot of money, I'll be really careful with how much position size you're using. Okay, the second thing is this is like 95% of traders, even the guys that have like podcast and trading and whatnot, they go about position sizing the wrong way, right? It's not about how much size you use. It's about how much you're risking. Okay, I teach you guys on live every single day. about this. It's not about how much size you're using, it's how much risk you're committing for the trade. If you're wrong, how much will you lose, right? Base your position size on that. So, for example, if Microsoft I shorted at 549.30 after that failure, high of day is like 70 cents away. Okay, it's 70 cents give or take. I'm risking about 5%, and if I'm really unlucky, maybe 10%. Okay, the contracts moved against me or whatever. All right, so 10% is what I'm risking. So how much should that be in a position size standpoint is up to you. If you have a 10K account and your position size is 1,000, you're risking $100. Okay, if you have a $2,000 account and you're risking 10%, that's $200. Right? And when it comes to profit targets, let's say you're risking $200, you're making a 10% return on that, so you covered your 1:1 risk. Right? So if you risk $200 and make a 20% return, then you have a 1:2 trade. Okay, put a yes if you understand what I'm talking, guys. This is how you need to think about position sizing and risk. It's not about, oh man, I'm going 20K deep, 0 DT position. I'll keep averaging down, no problem. I'm following this guy, that guy. You'll the one time you're wrong, you'll blow your account. Okay? Now, like think about it. Like when I'm in my trading, my win rate is pretty high. I'll lose like 1 or 2 trades a week if I take like 10, 12 trades a week. Okay? And my losses are super small. When I win, make sure I win kind of big. Okay, but I still lose. If I go in full porting all of my players, when I lose, I'll blow my account. All right, you just can't be like that. You just don't know when your next loss is coming. I could take a loss tomorrow for all we know, right? So just because you always need to prepare for the worst. You just don't know what the market's going to do. You get in a trade, Trump tweets or Trump says something, or back to trade war with China. What are you going to do? You can't do anything. The only thing you can control is your sizing and how much you're risking. Because if you get stopped out, cut immediately, right? People sometimes get mad. Oh, Unrav, you cut your loss and then you go back in. So what? It's nothing, right? I don't want to just hope and pray and keep averaging down on something that I don't know where the risk is, right? So you got to start thinking like this. Like if you go to get into trade and hoping something will happen and praying it'll reverse with for in your favor and stuff like that, you're going to lose a lot of money. Just don't trade on hope. You need to know, you need to be in control of how much you lose, how much you win. Okay, the moment you start relying on luck for winning and losing, you are going to blow your account, or eventually you'll blow your account. It doesn't matter temporary. This is why a lot of traders that were trading 2 3 years ago are not trading anymore, right? They're all like going into podcasting, this and that. Day trading is hard. Like you just can't like you just can't keep hoping and praying that you'll everything will work out, right? Market is ever so changing. Every day market's different, right? You can't use what you used a few years ago right now. You can't use what you use now and a year from now. Okay, have a tight risk, follow your stop loss. If you're wrong, accept it. Market proves you're right again, go in, re-enter again, but don't hope and pray and then use that as some kind of strategy. All right, tell us how to put stop loss on Robinhood. I don't understand what put stop loss. You just exit manually. There's no there's like I wouldn't rely on any auto stops and any of that stuff. Just buy yourself, sell yourself. Simple. Uh, do you scale in most of your trades or get full size? And again, it all depends on my risk, Cameron. Right? If I don't know what my okay, I'll explain one more thing. Let's say I'm getting starters on something. Okay. Now, if I get starters on something and the market says, "Oh no, it's going higher," if it does go higher and I'm down on a position, if there is a level that I want to see it wick off up or something, if it does that, I'll complete my position and I'll have a stop right there. Okay. If it just goes, I'll just cut starters. That's it. I won't add to my position. If I don't know what, if I can't define risk on anything, I won't add to my position. Okay. If I add to a position, my stop is going to be very near to it, and that's it. It's either a big win or a loss. That's it. All right. There's no in between. There's no guessing, going and whatnot. It has to be decisive and a sure thing. Uh, Jay, yes, Jay asked me, is it smart to add near a risk defined level and have a super tight stop loss? Yes. So today, Microsoft example again. I've been teaching. If you guys just pay attention to me, live trading. I've been teaching you, right? Netflix. I did the same thing. Friday, yesterday I did the same thing, and yeah, today also I did the same thing. Microsoft at 549 level. The first time we did 30%, re-enter the same area. Looked like it was heavy. Just add. If you add your position at like those areas, your risk is probably a couple of percent. If you're wrong, you'll just like quickly get out. But if you're right, again you retest. You know the 30% return there again. So that's your uh, uh, risk reward there. Are you looking to swing anything soon? No, I have to start that small account challenge again. But like, why? Like, I wanted to buy the dip, market just kept going, and now it's like again overextended. Honestly, it just yeah, like that's not my cup of tea. My day trading, I buy like I take a few trades every day. I don't lose. I make money this way, so it's really just a distraction for me to do all of that. If you guys really want to follow me day trade, and that's how you make your money, right? Keep your stops tight, keep following the right trades. When I stop, your account will grow end of the year. How do you form bias before a trading session? How do you identify what tickers you're intending to try? I honestly don't know, soccer guy. I don't form a bias. That's my thing. I don't form bias. I go in with an open mind, and then I have some thoughts on what the market will do, but it's not like I'm committed to any side before market opens. I'm always sometimes I'll have something on my watch and I'll focus on something else, right? Because I'm watching price action every day. I'm watching the tape, and there are certain things I like to see when I'm going long or short on anything, right? So I look at that. I want to be on the right side of the trend. I don't know why my camera's going in and out of focus, but so when market opens, I decide what I want to do. Favorite setup: buying dips at demand and then shorting at supply. Based if a trend is bullish, I'll buy at demand. If trend is looking to flip, I'll short at supply. That's it. Simple. Based on levels, I'll have a level. I'll see a level fail, and then I'll just short there. Um, Mentorship coming in June. No, actually, there's a batch this week I'm starting. But that's about it. It'll probably be maybe a little later in the maybe third quarter end or something. I'll do another one. How do you choose which contract to get? I'd be thinking your target's too far out and it hits damn near every time. I mean, implied move, right? So, for example, Netflix implied move plus or minus $10 $15 is always a thing. So you want to be a strike price within that, and same thing for Microsoft today. Well, I don't remember 547.50, right? Yeah. So where did we drop today? I think we dropped to 546 or 547. So that's kind. I usually pick my strike price based on the target that I have. But if it's a Monday or something, you can go slightly out of the money also. So look at this. Shorted somewhere. First shot was here. 547. Looks super nice tomorrow, to be honest. But the only problem is it's consolidated long. If it has the Microsoft, I know is capable of breaking out strong also. So it's a again it's a bi-directional setup. Will you ever go? Will you ever go back to calling immediately market open 100% signals? I mean, dude, like you think I control that? There are market is cyclical. So when there are crazy trends happening, I'll be able to catch the opening bell, bottom wicks or top wicks. I don't control that. It's not me. Even I don't trade that. Right? When the market presents such a setup, I'll go for it. It's as simple as that. It's not like I'm like withholding something and not giving you guys. I usually trade within the first 5 10 minutes. I give you guys the signal, whether it's a win or loss. I give you, right, and I keep going the repeat signaling. Like last week was all good. The previous week I did like 15 day trading signals for you guys, right, winning like 13 or 12. So if there is something to signal, I'll signal. Don't worry, I don't care. I'll signal. But yeah, that was a legendary run. But market is cyclical. You guys are got to understand. So right now it's the Q2. So I'm actually putting size also in my trades. I'm trying to get those big wins, small defined risk. It's a lot of stress, guys. Trading a few contracts, you can imagine you're being right. But like I'm literally like having trading multiple contracts, one for the chat, one for myself, putting size, managing risk, while recording this shit for Instagram content, and like my dog's barking in one side. It's just like little difficult, and honestly, it's overwhelming. That's why I feel like sometimes I just like need some alone time and like to focus and whatnot. It's just like a lot, right? You may think it's just the pushing buttons, but I'm looking at whole bunch of things. My eyes is like so stressed. Charts, level two, the chat, and then meanwhile, uh, butt plug 123 or some stupid username in the chat is asking if I'm still in. Today, Microsoft is up 30%. There's some guy asking, oh, I'm down minus 15% on Microsoft. What happened? He probably bought calls and I bought puts. That's why, So it's I can't make everyone happy. It's like it's just impossible. Sometimes you just go crazy, and then it's like, oh, Rav is snapping at me, dude. Like, I'm trying to be as nice as I can, right? But sometimes you guys like are my 13th reason. Some of you are my 13th reason. I just like wanna, you know. Oh man, it's hilarious. All right, let's look at some more questions. Can you go over pre-market setups? There's no setups. I don't really like. There's no pre-market setup. You plot your pre-market highs and lows when there's gap up days, gap down days, but there's really nothing. I trade just solely off of those levels, Jermaine. I I don't make it look easy. To be honest, I'm just decisive with what I'm trading. That's it. I don't make it look easy at all. It's just I like what I like, and I'm accept my risk, and I take those trades. And honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. There's like not a lot of sentiment involved in my trading. Sometimes I get excited when things work in my favor, but that's about it. If I lose, it's fine. Next trade, I'll make it back. If I have a red trade, that's fine. It's usually like that. You can't be too attached to the outcome. Also, just scrolling here, looking at some more questions. Yeah, camera grabs my hand. Yeah, you're right. Whoever said that. Mm, Closer to Friday, do you have to go further out of the money in your contracts? So Thursday and Friday, Thursday particularly because it's the actual trade weeklies. If I'm sizing or something, I'll only add my size if I'm adding size when I'm sure that this is going to be my stop, and this is once a failure has already happened or it's already on the way. Even if it's a wider risk or something, that's how I'll size. Okay, only when I get like confirmation. Usually it's like kind of fleeting and whatnot, and it's super important that I keep it that way. I can't like get into a position scale and then like have to take a big loss and whatnot. It's always been like that, but it's more important on Thursdays. Fridays, if I'm adding size, it'll usually be on next week contracts. Zeros, I'll usually not size as much. Maybe my position size on zeros is probably like less than $4,000. That's it. Not more than that. If I add a zero DT position on any trade, Netflix, for example, I had $4,000 zero DT size on that trade that I did last Friday. But I had the 1070s and 1075 puts, I believe, on two variations of the contract on Friday, and they did like both did like 40% or something. All right, last 6 minutes for you guys. Let's see what more questions. Do you trade boom boom candles? I don't know, man. It's not. I don't know what that means. Um, I don't know what that means. I don't even know want to ask what that means. I feel there's a sexual reference there. I don't want to ask what that means. Do you recommend trading into a business bank account so you can get tax advantage? Talk to your CPA. I do not know enough, or I'm not an expert in those things to answer that question. How do you see volume? You can see it here on the volume bar, and you can see on the right hand side price axis. You can see what the volume is here. Okay. At what age did I realize I'm really going to go all in on this thing? I mean, I started trading when I was like 20, 21, something like that. It was more of just a hobby. Not a hobby, I wouldn't say a hobby. It's just something I wanted to try, right? Because I was good at math, I wanted to try this. Always been good at numbers. And I got some beginner's luck, then I educated myself, and it's just like a video game, right? You start something and then you want to get good at it, and that's kind of how I got into it. And then soon enough, you start making some money, and then you just think that this is an option to make extra money, and that's how it started. And then it just kept going. Honestly, I don't. Like the real breakthrough point, I would say, was when I made my yearly full-time salary in a month, and that was a really good turning point. And to be honest, I still like worked parallelly until like I was like 26, 27, and had a good ground to fall, good fallback to fall on, and that was really helpful. You know, I would recommend the same for everyone. Don't just because you have a 6 month green run, don't just quit your job. Keep your job, keep building your account and everything, and then you can always work hard when you're young, and then work smart when you get past your 30s. That's kind of the someone told me this. I don't forgot who it was. Some one of my relatives or something. Work very hard when you're young, and then work smart when you turn 30. 30 to 40, 30 to 50. When you're a man, you need to work hard also. Hard work is also important, but you need to be smart also about your work. Is there a specific minimum delta you want to see? Not particularly. You want to stay close to the money as much as possible. Um, and this, that's kind of how you want to handle that. What platform do you use to execute trades? Thinkorswim, Dash Trader, those two platforms. Some day trading depends on what I'm doing. Do you trade crypto? No, I don't trade crypto. What would be a good contract size to scale into your signals? Again, 100K count. Again, wins. If I said 10% is the risk, ask yourself what your position size should be. If you use a $10,000 position size, $1,000 is what you're willing to lose. You have to ask yourself how much you're willing to lose. I can't decide that for you. When you guys ask me this, it's like just give me your money. That's it. Forget about it. It's like how can you like I could lose. I could that trade could go to zero. How can you trust someone else? Like even if it's me, don't trust me also. It's your money. If I say 10% is the risk, you know what it is. Size accordingly. 10% is the risk. If I say, guys, you can lose 10% on this. If you use 10,000, you can risk 1,000. If you use 20,000, you use 2,000. Okay, that's about it. Uh, Came on. It starts this weekend. What way do you recommend to pay yourself? Um, Whenever you, I don't know, man. Whatever like your threshold is, to be honest. I personally withdraw maybe every 3 months or something like that, every quarter. There's no real cadence for when I withdraw. If I feel like it, sometimes I just withdraw. Sometimes I'll just let money sit and I'll transfer it to my swing account. I do like a bunch of things. Uh, so it's okay. All right, I think we can call it a day, guys. Tomorrow morning, going to be very important. So let's see if market is good to us. Again, thank you for joining. I'd appreciate if you hit the like button, subscribe, leave some more comments if you can. Friday, I'm going to do a pre-market webinar with Brett, so definitely tune into that as well. And we'll talk about more stocks. And hopefully, we can catch like some good trades. We have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday still this week. 3 good weeks, 3 good green trades, and let's kill it. Until then, see you guys. Take care.